Okay, so hello everyone. So today we have some news, some really exciting and cool stuff. As some of you may have read in our recent newsletter, in June we are launching a new product line, the farming vaults. And today we still didn't announce it properly, but today you will be able to get a little glimpse of what we are developing. And well, Faisal is here to show it for our most committed gatherers. So Faisal,
Um, yes. So we've been working on a product basically that has a very simple premise. And the premise is if you're going to hold token X, why not hold more of token X? And that's part one of it. And part two of it is hold that token X as long as you want to, but get out when the price hits a certain level. Very simple product. And you don't have to worry about LPing, going into impermanent loss. We manage all of that. So the UI is actually not available yet, but um, very primitive designs. You'll see the UI soon. Let me just share my. Okay. Okay. Do you guys see my screen? Um, you see my screen?
so
Firefox.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the use case. So firstly, the vault we've launched is New Order. New Order is like a first in a series and sequence of these vaults. We're going to be launching them very rapidly. There's been a lot of hard work that's going on. We're not going to go over that today, but there's a lot of work that had to be done to get us to the point where we can launch one of these vaults a week. Um, you'll see glimpses of that, but that's a conversation for a later day. Let's talk about the problem. The problem we're trying to solve is, if you're a new holder, page. Huh, what happened to the vaults? Huh, I don't know what's going on with it. There's basically vaults here. Huh, right. Let's see if it's a browser thing. It goes a little on network. Guys,
This is weird. The UI is working for me normally.
is it? Yeah, it must be my connection. I must be on a test net or something in that other browser. I didn't even check. Okay, all right. This will work. It's weird. Cool. Okay. Here's the use case. You're a NEO holder. You're a committed NEO holder. You're so committed. You're holding NEO tokens through the bear. Okay. Now you have two choices. You can deposit it here, or you can deposit it here. Now, why, if this is 49% and this is 200%, why would you not deposit it here? Because you've heard of impermanent loss, and you're not exactly sure what that means, right? So the skeptic in you says, this is too good to be true. This is probably safer, and you're right. So you deposit in here, or you actually don't know which one to deposit into. Okay. As you can see, the balances they're about equal. There's well, you have to convert this into Newell, but yeah, they're about equal. So what our vault does is essentially switch you between these two. So now you can just hold Newell. The user interface when you see is going to look like this, right? So you're going to have your Newell balance, The APR, which right now, this is the Vaults APR, the one we're achieving. So it'll be a different number than the ones you just saw. And let's say the NEO price was 7 cents. And then you're going to always be able to see your balance in terms of NEO, your balance in terms of US dollars, and ETH. Because one of the things that a lot of the yield farming world misses is the user doesn't just care how much NEO they're gaining. They know they're gaining more NEO. They also care like what the US value of that NEO is. So we're going to make sure our UX gives you all of that very transparently. We actually believe a lot of UIs don't give you the USD balance because it's kind of disadvantageous. But we always, when it comes to stuff like this, we always take the side of the user. I think the user is smart enough to know that, they care about the US dollar. So we'll be showing them that. And then another cool feature of this vault is, yes, you're committed NEO holder, but there's a extent to every commitment. So a stop loss feature. Now this is something we want resonating feedback before we actually implement it. But if there's strong feedback from the community, we will implement this. We have plans to. So this is where you say, if NEO reaches a certain price, exit me from this, from the NEO position. You go back into like USDC. So that's kind of like what we like to call it, yield farming while you sleep, right? So the idea is eventually we'll have a bunch of these vaults, and it's like a farmer's market almost. And all you have to do is say, yeah, I like this project. I'm putting $25,000 here. A bond, I like it. I'll put $5,000. I'll put my stop loss, and that's it. Let us do the rest for you. You can just come in and just shift it to the leaders, the best farms of the week, put it in and not worry about it. Eventually, we would have a vault that would essentially put you in the best yield farms of the week. So that's the product. And the thing is, we've already essentially launched it. We've done a lot of work in the back scenes, but this vault is now on Ethereum, and I sent a tweet about it earlier today. And what we've done is we put about $15,000 as a deposit from OptyFi into it, and we're monitoring it as we speak. So I actually have kind of wrote my own little script to kind of monitor it, but this is what it looks like right now. So these are dates. These are supposed to be dates, so ignore that. But this is the key. It's been about 16.46 hours since we launched it. This is wrong. Cool. Anyways, we launched it. I'm sorry, I must have screwed something up. It's been a couple of days since we launched it. This number is showing up as wrong. This is like, I think it's about 30 hours or so, 36 hours since we launched it. But this ROI is correct in that, and this calculation is correct. So it's a crazy number right now, just because of the rewards. But we've made about 2% in like the last 2 to 3 days, as you can see. So it was launched essentially on June 1st. Actually sent out a tweet on that. I can show it to you if you guys are interested. You can follow me for information like that. Yeah, there's the Etherscan address. So this vault was launched on 2 days ago. Yeah, so it's been 24 plus 12, about 36 hours. We made about 2%, which is pretty decent. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this for a week or perhaps 2 weeks with our own funds, make sure everything's working nicely, and then open it up for our users. Now, what we do in the back end for this is where you get a little bit of a sneak peek, is we actually have, and then Carlos is here, he's actually the architect of this, so full credit goes to him. We have like a back testing engine. So we essentially, every vault so the first step, whenever we decide which vault we're going to launch, our product manager, Emika, does an analysis on the vault. So this is what we have in our pipeline: Aave, Mana, Ape, ILV. We score them on a bunch of factors. Of course, if you guys, have some preference for some vault, please make it known. Our idea is to be able to launch one of these every week or every other week. In fact, we were ready with Aave already, but we kind of slowed it down. Wanted to do one at a time, just because they're first ones. So first we identify the vaults we want to do, then we put them into our backtest engine. We actually are able to essentially just download the data and for each one of these. It gets downloaded. I've actually just run this, so we have the latest data already. And then we can essentially run a backtest on any one of them. This is the NUO backtest. Okay, so I'll just explain what it's doing. Basically what it's saying is from Jan 3rd, 2022 up till essentially today, you had two choices. A user would have had two choices: single-sided staking, like I showed you, and LP staking, right? That's exactly corresponds to these two vaults. You could be in single-sided or you could be LP. That's what that backtest means, right? So if you were single-sided, you're kind of making steady returns, but you're only making 45% for the people. And if you're an LP staking, you're kind of jagged. So that's the risky part. You're making pretty decent returns, 538% in NUO terms, in NUO. You're with us, what you're doing is we're switching you between these two. So whenever it goes up, we try to go up with the LP, but when it goes down, these flat areas, we switch you back into this. And that's why, plus we're compounding you, right? So we're compounding the returns. So as you can see, like our vault would have performed at 873% over this time, whereas being like basically would have beaten being in either one of these options for the entire time. That's the whole idea behind the vault. But there's a lot of, like, you can see the red is being in the OpTY vault, the orange is being in the LP, and blue is just holding it, I guess. There's actually a slope there, I guess. Yeah, there's a slope, yeah. So if you started with one NUO token, you just put in single-side staking, at the end of this period, you would have 1.45, right? Obviously, LP was a lot better. Not obviously, not a lot of people would know that, but LP in this period was a lot better. But OpTY Vault was even better. Okay, so that's the idea. We really want to build a product where yield farming becomes accessible, whether you have the time or the skill to do it. We kind of want to give you a product. Now, one thing about this product is we can't let that much, we're going to cap the total amount of investable money, because if it's too big, we start moving the market. So it no longer becomes outperforming, right? So there will be some type of cap on it, but for now, initially it's just $100,000, but it depends on the total size of the vault. That's why the next vaults we're going to launch, like these guys have 1.24 billion in market cap. So it's not going to be an issue, right? But NUO being a smaller one, it's an issue. So you guys will be seeing these vaults coming up pretty soon. We're going to do the same way. We're going to actually launch Aave probably this weekend, I believe. But it will be internal. We put our funds in it. We test it out. We make sure our projections match reality, right? In real terms, like we don't want user money until we put our own money. We see it performing, and then we let users in. So very, very excited about this product. I think changer. Basically, like we believe. Let's say you hold your funds, you hold tokens on Coinbase, you hold them on Binance. That's all you do. You just hold the token. You bring them to DeFi, you bring them to us, you're going to get more of that token, right? Every time that you start getting less of the token, we stop that, but you get more of the token. So you end up with 878 times more tokens if you hold it with us for NUO. And also, the other feature we think is good, but we want your feedback, is stop loss. So yeah, you're a hodler, you're a committed NUO holder, but there's some price, right? Because everybody has some price they'd want to get out at, right? We want to have that one a stop loss for you. So you say, this is my bottom line, you can rest, because in the end, we just want you to allocate your funds and go to sleep, and we'll do the rest for you. That's the whole. And we'll park your funds back in our USDC vault. Yeah, so that's the intro to the new vault. We'll be announcing more information. Please follow us in our channels. Follow me on Twitter because I'm going to be sending how we're doing this week, how the vault is doing. Very excited. I'm actually running this script like every few hours, right? Yeah, when we launch Aave, we'll do the same thing. We'll show you how we're doing. Once we're comfortable with it, we'll let you guys in. And that's it. That's our New Order Vault. Back to you, Thiago.
So, sorry, Faisal, can you talk a little bit more about the stop loss idea? Because I think this is awesome, this is important, and maybe you could explain it a little bit more for our community members.
You're on mute if you're talking.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now?
No, Thiago, you're good. I mean,
Okay.
So let's say Neo price is at a certain level right now, let's say 3 cents or something, right? You're a hodler of Neo. So you say, I'm putting Neo in I'm already holding Neo. I want to hold more Neo. So that's what our job is. Our job is to give you more Neo, right? We'll go like into single side staking, we'll go LP staking, we'll do whatever it takes to get you more Neo. However, you don't just care about getting more Neo, you also have some bottom line. Let's say you say at 1 cent, I just can't afford to lose Neo anymore, for example, right? Then you can put a stop loss that says, if Neo price hits 1 cent, exit me. So what we will do is, this is the full version of the feature. What we would do is actually sell your Neo Vault token, right? And give you a USD, like basically move you to our USDC vault. So because at 1 cent is just not something you're willing to hold, right? And that's your decision. This feature will be rolled out in steps. The first step will be you'll just be notified. You'll be notified. This is your stop loss, so that you can take the action yourself. If we find people are using that feature or there's a demand for the feature, we'll roll out the next version, which is we'll automatically. We'll have to have your permission on chain, and then we'll automatically exit you from the Neo Vault and put you into our USDC vault. So it's also a good feature if market all of a sudden crashes on you. One thing we got to work out, of course, is like we can't guarantee a price because obviously if market is totally crashing on you, we do our best to exit you, but there's a lot of front running and those kind of things. But it's still better than you're like, I don't know, out at the park or out with your friends and markets crashing on you and you're not able to sell it. And also you don't have to stick to your screen. You don't have to watch all the tokens you're in. Why? Because eventually, like, we want you to be like in here. Like in the end, we're building something to support DeFi, and we believe supporting different projects is the best way to support DeFi. So we want users to kind of be invested in multiple tokens, but they don't have to be monitoring closely, like if any one of these is going to crash, right? They should just put their preferences. Like, I'm in Nuo, please get me more Nuo, but when it hits a certain price, please exit me from Nuo, which means take my money out of, put it in the USDC. The only way you can like support multiple projects without sitting on your computer all day and monitoring prices, because you have a life, you have something else you do, is this kind of stop loss feature. Does that better explanation, Thiago?
Yeah, this is awesome. Really excited. Really, really cool. Well, so do we have any questions from the community? You can open up your microphone or just post on the chat. Well, okay, so just for clarification, we are going to make an official announcement on the farming vaults probably next week. And then, as Feijão mentioned, in 2 weeks we will probably be opening up the Nivo Vault for our community. So until then, if you have any questions, of course, you can tag me here on Discord. But this is like really, we are really dropping alpha for community participants because we didn't announce it. So it's pretty cool to see it. Besides that, I think we can make some updates on the NFT Vaults, right? Which is still open. We have 7 days for closing up the capital raising phase. So, but of course, market conditions right now are really harsh. We are not sure, to be honest, if we are going to reach the minimum threshold of 80 Ethereum. But we got the idea of involving the community, the depositors, into the decision making. So we are going to involve the depositors into the next steps. We have some ideas, right? I don't know if you would like to say something about it, Curtis.
About the sorry, I just went to grab a water while you were talking. What was that?
About the next steps on the NFT vaults, if we don't raise enough money to go to the investing phase.
Yeah, well, so we're just mostly want to involve the community on what the next steps will be. So we're going to come up with like a bunch of viable options, I think is the plan, and then consult you guys most likely next Friday, when the capital raise ends or the following week, and try to get the best sense. So there's like options that we have in mind, and I think I shouldn't talk about them too much yet because we're really trying to curate them internally. But we want the community to kind of decide on the fate of them, or the direction in where they're going, and we might be focus on the farming vaults that we just showed you guys could be one option, or continue change the mandate. So different things that we can do, and we think it's best to try to get the community's involvement in how we can move forward. So we're going to be asking you guys that in like coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So keep an eye here. If you are a depositor, keep an eye here in our Discord, and we will give you instructions of how to vote and how we are going to proceed into the next steps. Finally, I think we had something else to say about the token launch, right? We are thinking how, because of course the token launch is really delayed. Market conditions are really bad right now, but we are working right now in building one, like a landing page where you will be able to see all your OPTYs you have earned so far. We know that the experience with OPTY hasn't been so great so far because we had some problems on the user interface. Users were withdrawing and seeing the amount decreasing, but we are working hard to change this, and users will be able to see it like on only one landing page. So it will be much easier and clear. I don't know, Faisal, Curtis, would you like to add anything?
Sure. Sure. So we have basically a plan to essentially launch the OPTY contract. So you'll know that the OPTY exists. To do an IDO, to launch like a initial DEX offering, right now is like the worst time. We don't want to do that. It'll not be useful to anybody. It'll not be useful to all our users who actually committed and earned these that we sell, and it just drops. So we want to keep the supply and the circulation controlled in these markets and launch. So our strategy is to launch products that are killer products, right? That's always been the strategy. I think once you see the APYs we're hitting with farming vaults, that's going to be a really good thing. And as you also see, we're starting to do a little bit more community outreach. So you'll start seeing all the tech we've developed. It's we've been in the woods, or kind of been a bit in hiding in terms of like marketing, or just being in the external world. But you'll see all we've built, and we're hoping to build up some momentum. Then, which may, and hopefully markets stabilize a little bit as well. Those factors we need to happen before we would think of doing an IDO. However, we would like to get the tokens into the hands of users earlier than that. Is to launch the token. Now we do have the thing is, Ethereum is expensive, so the gas it will cost some users, like the balances are not huge. So the gas it'll cost to give and there's lots of users, lots of people to give it to. Doing an airdrop right now wouldn't make a ton of sense. So probably the precursor to that is going to be a page where you can go and look up what your balance is. You also will be able to see the token, and you'll see it's like just locked up, not moving anywhere, right? So those two things we'll start with. Okay, we're hoping within the month of June, we'll have that to you. So you can go to a page and see what your balance is that you've earned. And also you'll be able to see the token, and you can see it's all intact. It's not being circulated, not being distributed. And then we'll just keep you in the loop as things develop. Market can change overnight. And, depends, a lot of good news comes in, things can change. An IDO can be moved earlier. But for us, the focus is really on delivering a product that's outstanding. So that's what we're really.
So Faisal, are you still talking? I think we lost you at the end.
No.
Yeah.
No. I ended talking, and just if there's any questions, please feel free to ask them or put them in the chat. Yeah. I'm not sure if we have much else that we were planning to cover today. So if there's not a lot of questions, we can probably cut the meeting short as well. Unless Thiago and Curtis, you guys want to cover more. I think we've covered farming vaults, we've covered the NFT vaults and their future, and now we've talked about token. So we can clarify on these issues. We can clarify on any other issue, or we can just chat about anything else. Where we go? There we go.
Yeah, there's one question from outside.
Yeah. At this point, okay, so at this point, we don't want the tokens to be in circulation, right? So we don't want them to be claimable at this point. So the question is, will the tokens be claimable, gas covered by user, or will it be an airdrop? So the point right now is we could actually issue a contract which locks up the tokens. So they're there, they kind of are claimable by you, and but you can't claim them until a certain time when we want tokens circulating. We're useful to anybody, right? Because you can't claim them, and that's where there's an expense of gas for a lot of people, but you can't claim them. So we wouldn't want users to use their gas for that, and then us paying the gas for that. It's probably not the best idea. But again, I don't know the numbers on that. So our idea right now was at least get you a front end page that shows you what is claimable by you, not on chain, off chain, what our calculation is, right? And then also have an OPTY contract there. Maybe we can look at if any more can be done. The next step would be to have a vesting contract where your tokens would be. But that's something definitely we would need to think about more before we promise that, because that does incur like gas costs, and if there's lots of users and you can't claim it anyways, it's like a waste of gas, you know, just to lock it up, and you guys can't claim it. So yeah, so definitely that step will be done for sure, where you'll have a front page, like a front end page. You can look at your balance, and you'll see the OPTY token is there and not circulating. Those two things will be there. Hope that answers the question.
Does anybody else has any kind of question or comment? Well, okay. If not, I think we can wrap it up here. As always, thanks for coming. If you have any questions, I'm here on Discord, as always. And this community call was recorded, so I will be posting it on YouTube between today and tomorrow, so you guys can see it again. Thanks for coming. Have a great weekend.
Thanks everyone. Have a good weekend. See you.